Yeah, at that soiree the other day, there was this invitation floated around for a convening of the Hastings and Napier councils to talk about boundary adjustment. And it has occurred to me that that discussion might have a bearing on constituency alignment within the regional council, and that therefore we should not be unrepresented in that discussion if it is in fact gets off the ground. You understand what I'm saying? I mean,
we should have someone at the table,
yeah.
at least an observing role, if nothing else.
At least, because it could affect where we draw our lines in terms of our own political constituencies and what have you, if there is ever to be an adjustment of that nature.
My understanding at the moment, and I realise they're in minor items, but the agreement at the outset would be for the Commission and the two councils to agree on a basic terms of reference and get some work done about exactly what it means. And that would be the first step. So. And included in that will be representations, for sure. Okay, thank you. Councillor Bevan, royalties on water use bottling.
Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Water bottling use.
The council actually passed a resolution 2 or 3 months ago now asking staff to investigate with government or to advocate to government on a royalty for water, and I know that there are some qualms about if we charged a royalty for water, whether it might make bottling unaffordable or uneconomic and they'd take their business elsewhere. And I know there are also some discussions that we'd probably have to have in the future about which uses of water we'd charge a royalty for. I'm actually very clear in my mind, but I know others are not. But here's a story for you that somebody sent me, and this is in relation to the Fiji brand water. So the Fiji story is a great case study of what could be. Fiji Water was established in 1995. For years they were paying a levy of 1/3 of a Fijian cent per litre to the government. In 2010, however, the Fijian government increased this levy to 15 cents per litre. The company threatened to move operations from Fiji to, guess where, New Zealand, and in a counter move, the Fijian government threatened to give the well to another company. Fiji Water backed down and went back to work. At the time, this increased the Fijian government's revenue from $500,000 to $22.6 million on the back of Fiji Water exports of around $150 million per annum, and it's expected that those exports will increase to more than $200 million this year. So there's a lesson to be learned.
Okay. Okay, you're very clear on that point.
Look, just one other thing. I'd like to get an update from staff because I think this is a political issue, and I think we need to get behind staff. This is not going to go away. We need to deal with it.
Send it out. Okay. And update forthcoming. Royal Society, Councillor Scott.
Three good stories to end the year on, Mr. Chairman. The last Royal Society meeting was held here, I think it was last Thursday, and the speakers were 3 of our scientists and introduced by Dr. Schwabe. Lynn Trafford actually has highlighted the importance of the science team here and its contribution to knowledge in Hawke's Bay, and looks forward actually to using the staff more frequently to inform people of general issues. So thanks to the staff for their presentations.
Very good.
The second issue, Mr. Chairman, was one of, I think you raised it the other day at the Māori Committee meeting, but the Dairy Awards were presented on Thursday, and I was privileged enough to be the person actually shaking hands, and I'd like to thank Councillor Pipe for being there and supporting it. Quarter of our dairy farmers, Mr. Chairman, actually have had full compliance. That's absolutely 100% compliance. No minor, no anything, just full compliance for 5 years. But of those, that 25%, some of them are now into year 8 of that. And I think it's time, once we start heading towards 10 years, perhaps we need a platinum award. What is interesting is that nearly half of them now are, of our dairy farms are heading into over 3 years. And this year alone, 80% of our dairy farms received 100% compliance. Now, of that other 20%, a lot of that was really minor stuff. So I think that is actually quite an amazing record. It is actually showing environmental leadership. It's actually setting the bar high, and those dairy farmers are influencing others on achieving great outcomes. So I think Councillor Piper will agree that it was a really happy occasion and something worth celebrating. Third one, Mr Chairman, was to report on the Cape City meeting that actually took place last month, which again Councillor Pipe and I attend. I'm going to ask Councillor Pipe to assist me. I'll do the biosecurity side of it. It was a multi-stakeholder group. It was well attended. I think there were about 50 or 60 people there. Lovely lot of young families as well, really participating and all extremely enthusiastic. It was a really positive occasion. There was a lot of information sharing as well as other things, but this really is looking at, funnily enough, the same sort of multi-stakeholder approach that is making up the biodiversity strategy. So in some ways, this is actually edging in before that's even fully launched. So it is transforming how we do our pest control in farmland, and as well as that, engaging with the local urban community on bringing that pest control into those areas as well. I would really like to quote, you've had some updates from Mr Leakey about it, but I'd like to refer to Bruce Wills's comments there about the absolute cutting edge approach of our predator control. He said other stakeholder groups from around the country are so envious of where this council is going. And he in particular referred to and you may have seen this on the news last night, the effect on the loss of the hoiho and otago, the yellow-eyed penguin, and the response to trying to rescue that. He said they are so jealous of where we are with our approach to predator control and solving these problems. He thinks that we're well ahead of the pack on that. So getting that sort of endorsement and someone who has been looking nationally at it is really very positive, and something our staff should be well and truly congratulated on. They also at the meeting discussed, and there was a very positive response to the high UMF Mānuka, as a once you've got the predator control moved in with the enhancement. And there's some exciting things I think that we're going to hear about next year. We certainly got a heads up on that at this meeting from Campbell as future partnerships, which maybe have much wider implications for our East Coast Hill country. So, in summary, this is trialling some small animal pest control on a really amazing scale, which is going to actually have big implications for this area, and I think is a really exciting story, good news story for Christmas. So I just ask Councillor Pipe, who wants to say something about the biodiversity gains.
You've said it mostly, but I mean, I think it was a shame actually that there were two major events on that particular night. I think councillors would have liked to have gone to the Waimara Moana, and vice versa. We would have liked to have gone to the Mangara event as well. But it was tremendously successful out there. I thought the staff did a great job. Presentation was fantastic, and the food and just the company out there. Comments that I got from farmers were that they hadn't seen sort of an event quite like that for quite some time, where the farmers from the area had actually come together and in such a positive way. So I think you've covered most of it actually about what's happening. I think it's a fantastic project, and certainly from the comments from the farmers there, they're right behind it. So that's all.
Thank you. Minor items done. Just before we go into public excluded end of year and all that sort of stuff, I had a couple of comments to make before we move into public excluded. This has been an interesting year. I mean, no other regional council in the country has had an amalgamation debate on its back door, and also, dare I say it, a project such as Ruatana for water storage. And I'd just like to take a moment to thank councillors for their participation throughout the year. We have the odd moment where a bit of fur flies, but generally I think we get there pretty much in the end. So congratulate you all and publicly wish you all a Merry Christmas, etc. So, could someone take us now into public excluded?